The day without time. The alarm blared like any other day. Mason groaned, reaching out to silence it, but the eerie quiet of his apartment made him pause. Where was the sound of traffic? The muffled chatter of his neighbors? He glanced at the clock on his nightstand. 7 a.m. The numbers didn't blink or change, as if time itself had stopped. He grabbed his phone to check, but it was frozen too. Tapping, swiping, nothing worked. Confused and a little unnerved, Mason pulled on a hoodie and stepped outside. The city was utterly still. Cars were frozen mid-turn. A dog leapt into the air, but hung motionless. Pigeons in the sky didn't flap their wings. People stood in the streets, on sidewalks, in parks stuck in time. A jogger had one foot suspended mid-air, sweat dripping down his face, but never falling. "Hello," Mason called out, his voice loud in the unsettling silence. No one responded. He walked up to a woman holding a coffee cup, her lips parted as if she were mid-sentence. Her eyes didn't follow him, didn't blink. Panic bubbled up in his chest. "This has to be a dream," he muttered. He pinched himself, slapped his face, but the bizarre stillness remained. He tried to push the jogger's arm, it didn't budge. It felt like pressing against solid stone. Hours passed as Mason wandered through the frozen city. The sun never moved from its spot in the sky. Hunger gnawed at him, but the idea of eating while everything else was paralyzed made him nauseous. In the middle of the town square, he spotted someone or something moving. A figure in a dark coat glided through the frozen crowd, pausing occasionally to examine the still people. Mason ran toward them, heart pounding. "Hey," he shouted, "you! What's going on here?" The figure turned slowly. Their face was pale and gaunt, eyes like twin voids. "You're awake," they said, their voice cold and hollow. "What do you mean? What's happening to everyone?" The figure tilted their head. "Time has stopped, but you are different. Awake, as you said. Why me?" Mason demanded. "What's going on?" The figure didn't answer. Instead, they stepped closer, their presence making the air colder. "You shouldn't be awake," they murmured. Fear gripped Mason. "What does that mean? Who are you?" "I am a keeper of the timeless," the figure said. "And you are an anomaly." Mason tried to back away, but the keeper's hand shot out, grabbing his wrist. It was like ice, freezing him to the core. He felt a strange pull, like his very being was being yanked out of place. "Wait, stop," Mason shouted, struggling against their grip. "You were not meant to witness this," the keeper said. "Time must remain untouched." "But I didn't do anything." The keeper paused, their hollow eyes narrowing. "Perhaps not, but if you remain, you could disrupt the balance." Mason's mind raced. "What if I help you? Maybe there's a reason I'm awake. Maybe I can fix this."
The keeper stared at him for a long moment, then released him. "Very well, but know this. If you fail, your existence will end, and time will consume you." Mason followed the keeper through the frozen city, his unease growing with every step. They led him to an ancient clock tower he'd never noticed before, its massive face looming over the skyline. Inside, gears the size of houses stood still, their rusted surfaces coated in dust. "This is where time begins and ends," the keeper said. "What do I do?" Mason asked, staring at the intricate machinery. "Find the break," the keeper instructed. "Something here has disrupted the flow. If you can repair it, time will resume." Mason climbed into the gears, feeling the weight of his task. Shadows shifted unnaturally in the corners of the tower, and whispers echoed round him. He wasn't alone. Something didn't want him to succeed. As he worked, he began to uncover pieces of a larger mystery, one that tied him to the stillness of time itself. The deeper he delved, the more he realized this wasn't just about fixing the clock. It was about rewriting a fate he was never supposed to escape. Would he succeed, or would time reclaim its stray anomaly?